past and also some new ones. By the way, what have you been up to? You been busy? Nothing going on?
No, I have not been up to no good.
Yeah,
let me
there
tell
you
you.
go.
All good things.
Well, there's a reason that our table is full of Baker Boy products, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit.
Can you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. All right, we're going to talk about that after the commercial break, but we're going to start out with a story that on the surface is a sad story. Now, Carly Beekler, when she was in high school at Bismarck High, I did her basketball games on the radio, and I got to know her a little bit. Interviewed her several times. She had some huge shots in the state tournament.
They won state when she was a senior. Yes,
she won state when she was a senior, and and sadly, Carly's no longer with us. However, her legacy lives on, and that's what one of your stories was about.
Yeah. So, and I knew Carly for a long time too. My aunt did daycare for her and her brother and sister, and she would come back and help with daycare when my oldest kids were little, and so we knew her as fun Carly, right? Yeah. And seeing what her friends and family have done in her memory, I just think she'd be totally embarrassed. Absolutely, right? Like this is silly, but seeing the good that can come out of it. So they set up a scholarship fund. This will be the third annual event. So they do a 5K run, walk, whatever, however you want to get across the finish line in her memory. There, yep. And so the money raised goes to pay for scholarships for students at the University of Mary, and also to help those kids go on mission trips. Yes,
and listening to some of the kids from your story, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and how much they treasured and valued that opportunity to be able to do that.
And what she told me was, I never would have been able to do this without this scholarship. And so what a gift to be able to go and kind of test out your skills.
Yeah.
And I said, does it make you think maybe you picked the right field? And she said, absolutely. I'm so fired up to do this. And so I just think Carly would be really happy to see the good that has come out of something so tragic. So that is coming up in June. You can just go to the UMary website and search Carly Malm. M-A-L-M. And you'll get to the registration and more information about it. It's a wonderful event.
Sounds good. Talk about on-the-job training, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, we're going to move on now and beware here. Please beware, because we're going to show you Duncan. And if you don't fall in love with this face, I don't know.
Is Duncan.
That is one cute dog.
You know, and here's the thing. He's so cute in this video, and I saw some pictures of him before I went and shot this story, but I walked in and I just stopped in my tracks because he's 100 times cuter in real life.
Really?
Just a little fluff ball and just so soft and so cute. So he is in training to be a therapy dog. One of the places that he will go and provide some therapy is at the Bismarck Cancer Center. And his handler, Mary Dunn, this is her second therapy dog. Max passed away, and so she didn't think she would ever be able to replace him, and Duncan is not a replacement.
Right. You never replace a pet. You really don't. You just add to the family.
Oh, but he is so cute.
He really is.
So when you saw him walking down the hallway, the way he just kept looking at her like, am I doing okay, Mom? Is this right? Is this right? He's just, you cannot see that dog.
Jody, I noticed that too, that almost looking for verification that I'm doing it right. I'm doing this right. Look, I'm walking right beside you like I'm supposed to.
Yeah, so Mary and Max also read to students at the library and at a couple of schools. And so that's one of her goals with Duncan too, is to get into the classroom and help kids read. You know, we've done stories about that, and just laying on a dog, using the dog for a pillow, just makes reading so much more enjoyable.
Well, it's interesting that you said in person even that much cuter, because the first time I saw that video, I'm like, that has got to be the cutest dog face I've ever seen in my whole life.
No, in person, 100 times cuter.
See if you can bring him on next time.
Oh, man.
All right, now we're going to talk about something. This is one of a kind in the state here, this chorale that is doing a musical.
Yes, so it's a show choir.
A show choir.
5th grade show choir at Solheim Elementary.
Solheim, got it.
And their music director, Mr. Flores, said to his knowledge, they're the only 5th grade show choir in the state, which is pretty darn cool. And what makes it cool, even cooler, is it was the kids' idea.
That's what I was going to ask you
3 years ago, these kids said, hey, we want to do more. What can we do? And so he's kind of there just to sit back and supervise and keep them on task.
They did all the choreography for this, didn't they?
Yeah. So they actually have a concert tonight, and it's the first time that they've ever performed on their own.
And that's at Bismarck High, if I remember
they've
right.
always been a part of something else, but this is the Cougar Chorale, and they've got a junior chorale, which is 4th graders that are going to do a song, and then some alumni, because 5th grade is your last year at Solheim.
Okay.
And so you're in this choir, and then you're gone, but some of these kids are coming back.
There's Mr. Flores.
Yeah, so 2 of my 4 kids went to Solheim, and I haven't been there for a few years, right? Like, we're done with elementary school. And I walked in, I was in the office visiting, and, you know, these are old friends, right? And they're like, do you remember where the music room is? And I went, I do.
There you go.
Actually, nothing's changed.
Yeah, exactly. And,
Yeah.
and that's comforting in its own right, you know, because you're going, wow, this is just the way I remember it being.
Yep.
How many kids are involved in that? Do you remember offhand?
There are, I think, 42 this year, which
Wow.
is just bonkers because when they started 3 years ago, there was 14.
Yeah, and the thing, and I asked Krista about this when we aired the story, I said, if they choreographed it, I wonder if 42 minds came together and agreed on everything.
So that's one of the things that the kids talked about
Yeah.
is like, we didn't agree on everything, and so we had to learn how to compromise. What a life skill.
No kidding.
Work as a team.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're going to explain why we have bakery goods on the
Yeah.
table here in just a little bit. Can